Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Alina Bila binti Nur Azmain, and today I'm going to present about the background study of our research. Okay, so first, road has become among one of the most important infrastructure equipment worldwide. The need for efficient road networks and safety is very important, and for that reason, today's effort in improving the ease and safety of road users is growing rapidly. In Malaysia, the road networks and highway are important as it plays part to connect a destination to another destination. As rapidity of development in Malaysia has contributed to the economic growth, it has indirectly increased vehicle occupancy over the last 10 years. Based on Malaysia's transportation statistic, the number of vehicles on the road increased by 5% every year. Like most of the developing country, Malaysia also is facing an increase of vehicle occupancy along with traffic volume, and surprisingly, due to that, the road facilities failure occur more rapidly than expected. Therefore, it will be desirable to minimize the conflict and increase the competence of traffic management in handling road facilities. Exposure to potential road traffic injury has increased largely due to several factors such as rapid motorization, poor road condition and road maintenance, rapid growth of population, and lack of safety features in cars. In order to reduce traffic conflicts, effective traffic inventory management should be applied to ensure the traffic flows smoothly, efficiently, and functioning accordingly at all acceptable safety level. Therefore, association of drivers' risk perception towards traffic inventory should be taken into account when conducting a relevant study. Although the attitude of road users is hard to be emphasized, however, according to many researchers, it is imperative that human factor can be considered during the design of road infrastructure. The main goal is to have a better traffic flow in any intervention through the assessment of traffic inventory management analysis through risk perception. Therefore, a relevant study must be conducted for a better understanding in the exploration of traffic inventory performance.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurhuda binti Hanjabat. There is three main factors that leads to road accident, which is human factor, environment factor, and internal factor. Firstly, I want to explain about human factor. According to Laporte S. Parahu, human factor is the main risk that leads to road accident, which is 81% from the human factor. It is connected to the total accident of HGV found from human, vehicular, and environmental factor. It also known that system level risk is rare, and there is two types of drivers: heavy drivers at road, which is lorry driver and trailer driver. Lorry driver is filled by wearing seat belt compared to trailer driver, but trailer driver is also known that they always exceeded the vehicle speed limit and road speed limit. Saying about speed limit, most typical drivers have speeding limits at road. It is causing 1/3 driver that exceeded speed limit, which is lead to road accident. And also, drinking driver is a rare risk factor, which is less than 1%. So, secondly, environmental factor. Based on Yaqub F. Rusli, March 2019, there is causes favorable weather, which is heavy rainfall, that affect capabilities of visibility drivers, massive wind, temperature, and earth surface condition. It also found that pavement friction give impacts of traffic through visibility. Temperature also has affection to driver's performance, road in transformation and vehicle performance. And lastly is internal factor. Internal factor, based on Laporte and Perahu, 1/3 contribution of fluids connected to vehicle. It is related to things resulted that severe sequences that lead heavy of the vehicle or loss of steering ability after accident. It is also risk in load and securing comprise 12% of all the vehicular risk factors. Risk connected to tires comprise 7% of vehicular.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Syed Jaafar bin Syed Hussein, and today I'm going to present about the problem statement, research objective and research question. As for problem statement, accidents are relatively unpredictable. According to Road Safety Department Malaysia 2010, the widely known contributing factor deduced to road accident involve human factor, vehicle factor, road and environment factor. It can happen by a combination of tired driver and poor road geometry or poor vehicle condition. Accident due to human occur in many ways, including human perception and driving behavior varies with age, emotion, belief, and attitude. In addition, the fact that accident can happen due to poor road environment management should not be neglected. Identify road environment factor that can active an accident together with the manageable roadside area are a hidden factor that seldom being discussed among road safety research. Road environment cover many aspects such as road condition, roadside condition, traffic volume, operational speed, and the condition driving ambience itself. Prior to this issue, this study was conducted to explore on driver perception towards traffic inventory performance that may be a potential factor affecting road safety. As for research objective, this study is of interest to explore traffic inventory management through the assessment of risk perception before planning effective countermeasure. To achieve the aim of this study, the following objective has been set. To investigate the relation, number one, to investigate the relation between human factor and road accident. Number two, to investigate the relationship between environment factor and road accident. Number three, to investigate the relationship between technical factor and road accident. As for research question, to achieve the objective of this study, the following questions have been set. Number one, is there a relationship between human factor and road accident? Number two, is there a relationship between environment factor and road accident? Number three, is there a relationship between technical factor and road accident? Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Fahmi bin Abdullah. So I'm going to talk about definition of terms, significance of study, limitation of the study. Okay, for the definition of terms, according to Ting CY10 and few others, 2020, it is defined as road accident refers to an incident where at least one land vehicle with one or more people injured or killed. While there are many variables attributed to road accident, ranging from human to environmental factors, the work presented in this paper focus only on identifying predictors that could potentially lead to fatality. Okay, for human factor, speeding was the most typical contributory risk factor. More than 1/3 of the driver had exceeded the road speed limit, and half of the driver of trailer lorries had exceeded the vehicle speed limit. Speeding was typical for both the most responsible and the less responsible parties of the accident. For environmental factor, In this journal show that environmental factors consist of unfavorable weather conditions such as heavy rainfall, massive wind, temperature and earth surface condition. Lastly, internal factor. Journal show that about 1/3 of the contributory risk factor were connected to vehicle. More than half of the vehicular risk factor were related to things that resulted severe consequences after the accident had taken place. For example, heavy mass of the vehicle or lost steering ability after the accident. Okay, for the significance of study, this research is to provide more information about road accidents. This study is most important for people to develop a better understanding of road accident and more specifically the factors that are key indicators of road accident. By understanding of these factors, the people can have more information about how road accident can happen and their factors. In addition, this study also can help people to take care of their self and loved one. Okay, secondly, the cause and how to take a careful step to avoid it. With this study, people can identify the most common road accident factors and thoroughly analyze the solidity of the factors and the cause. Besides that, this study also could give employees awareness to take a careful step to avoid the road accident from happen. Okay, lastly, limitation of the study. Okay, we can divide into few. For the first one is a lack of time. Often deadlines are the reason why the study and research might not be complete. When we get a task, we have a limited amount of time to do it. Also, the difficulty to meet up with another member. To get a good grade, we need to submit the assignment prior to the deadline. Second, financial resources. In some cases, we need some equipment or additional software to conduct the research. This might be a problem since we don't always have the sum we need. Third, data collection. There are different ways to collect data: interviews, surveys, questionnaire, and etc. We can proceed on this. Just can reviewing the past journal for the data collection. Lastly, access to data. We not always be able to go through all the resources. Also can gather all the data we want for the research since it will take a lot of time. Because of it, the work might not cover each aspect. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. I'm Nora binti Morsin. I will talk about the relationship between human factor and road accident. The close investigation of the data set shows that the top 3 contributing parameters among 12 are mental conditions of driver, alcohol consumption, and speed of vehicle. It indicates that the participants unbelted or using mobile phone were more involved in accident in last 3 years. Excessive speed and violation of traffic rules and regulation were found to the main causes of road accidents. Speeding was a typical contributory risk factor both among the most responsible parties and among the second parties. About half of the drivers had exceeded the vehicle's speed limit, and more than 1/3 of the drivers had exceeded the road speed limit. Malaysia Institute of Road Safety Research (MIROS) studied the road accident data in year 2011 and found that the cause of accident is mainly due to human behavior or negligence, road infrastructure, and surrounding area and vehicle condition. Based on the literature review, researchers have developed one hypothesis that concluded there is a positive relationship between human factor and road accident. The list of human error is most factor that can contribute to accident. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Intan Sohana binti Jajiman. ID number is 2016-830 and 228. My part is relationship between environmental factor and road accident. Refer to Yaakob 2019. Research shows rainfall has effect towards road accident. There is 2 level temperature. 1 during cool day, 2 during warm day. During cool day, rate of accident increase due to driver vision not clear, whereas during warm day, rate of accident decrease due to vision clear. Refer to Najib 2012, the environment causes view as obstruction such as road design problem, while vehicle causes include brakes, tire and steering control. Meanwhile, refer to Harris 2019, when dealing with Mother Nature, environmental factors can be considered as the most difficult accident causation factor. Adverse and bad weather such as heavy rain, foggy, windy and storm can dramatically affect the driver's side. Most studies reported that rainy weather is among the environment factor that is among the main environmental factor that result in a road accident. From the literature review, researchers has developed that there is positive relationship between environmental factor and road accident. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Faratika binti Ahmad Nasaruddin. I will be presenting 2.3, the relationship between internal factor and road accident. According to Muhammad Ghazali Masuri and his fellow authors, driving is a complex process which involves eye, hand, and foot coordination. It is futile to coordinate shall contribute to road traffic accidents. From an article by Dayang Nilul and Holly Van, they suggest serious attention should be given to improve the buses and working conditions to reduce the accident rates in Malaysia. It is also recommended that the working schedule to be revised accordingly by taking into consideration the bus driver's constraint. Another author from Ismail and his fellow authors wrote efforts should be intensifying the awareness among drivers and especially youth, because youth are the most vulnerable group and are more prone to accidents due to their well-known inclination, and especially in the age group of 25 to 35 years old. Accident involvement rate for male was 49%, but for female 38%. In the coming years, if government could not take serious measures to reduce of traffic accidents, it may increase to 25 deaths daily. In addition, author Idris and his fellow authors wrote motorcycle license age limit in Malaysia is 16 years old, and based on the data from Royal Malaysia Police, 22.5% of fatality cases in 2009 involved motorcyclists in age group of 16 to 22 years old. Plus, a study in Taiwan also found that young driver is in high risk to be involved in road accident with high severity because of immature and less experienced. Author Gorban Ali Muhammadi wrote the internal factor of an accident is crash risk on driver's age. Crash risk is very high among young people. In addition, many people are tested on their limits of strength, agility, skills, and fears in competitive, high-risk or high-speed sports and activities. The influence of peer groups tends to introduce risk-taking and novelty-seeking behaviors, which may make the adolescents more vulnerable to injuries. Last of all, Ding Chu-yi, author, and Chung Ching-ho, author, wrote vehicle characteristic is one of the important factors, as a vehicle can have a direct effect on the occurrence of a road accident. The different type of vehicle will affect the occurrence of road accident, as a heavy vehicle are having a higher chances to involved in road accident as compared to lighter vehicles. Based on the literature review, researchers have developed one hypothesis that concludes there is a positive relationship between internal factor and a road accident. The list of internal errors is the most factor that can contribute to accident.
My name Muhammad Fazilah bin Muhammad Yusof, 2.4 Underpinning Theory. Figure 1, Expectancy Theory Model. Expectancy theory holds that people are motivated to behave in a way that produce desired combination of expected outcome. Generally, expectancy theory can be used to predict behavior in any situation which are choice between two or more alternatives must be made. For example, it can be used to predict whether to live or stay at a job and whether to try substantial or minimal effort at tasks. We can see, first, motivation is affected by an individual expectation that a certain level of effort will produce the intended performance goal. Motivation is influenced by the employee's perceived chances of getting various outcomes as a result of accomplishing his or her performance goal. There are three key concepts within Bloom model, which are expectancy, instrumentality, and balance. Expectancy represents an individual belief that a particular degree of effort will be followed by a particular level of performance. Instrumentality is a performance to outcome perception. It represents person belief that a particular outcome is contingent on accomplishing a specific level of performance. Balance refers to the positive or negative value people place an outcome.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurhanis Faria binti Amir Sharifuddin. My student ID is 2015298638 and I would like to give a short explanation on theoretical and conceptual framework. For the theoretical framework, as we find out from our research, in developing countries, especially Arab countries with the exception, the problem of traffic accident is very serious and it becomes more difficult to control. This is the most important that damage or destroy material resources such as vehicle, lamp post, adjacent building, bridge, and human life. The important elements in traffic accident as shown in figure 2, page 17, we may know that the road and the vehicle with level of experience or knowledge of the driver behavior are very important in the reduction of traffic accidents. According to research conducted by Islam, MB and Kanipong K 2008, the summary of event analysis could lead to listing the factors of the system components. When looking at the figure in page 18, we can see that the human factor where the pickup truck driver could have braked as an evasive action was influenced by the expectancy of the oncoming vehicle into its own right of way. The misjudgment of a gap between bus and leading vehicle, together with the late passing decision of the passing vehicle, lead to the late braking to avoid the collision. As for the conceptual framework, based on the meta-analysis constructed, researchers have confirmed that the three independent variables, such as human factor, environment factor, and internal factor, are most influence road accidents among employees. The conceptual framework in page 18 was developed by researchers to study the relationship between the three independent variables toward road accident. Therefore, we come up with the hypothesis developed by the conceptual framework, which is hypothesis number 1, there is a relationship between human factor and road accident. Hypothesis number 2, there is relationship between environment factor and road accident. Hypothesis number 3, there is a relationship between internal factor and road accident. With the hypothesis, we are completed for chapter 2. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, nama saya Amir Azhar bin Muhtar dan saya akan menerangkan tentang chapter 3 methodology. Chapter 3 describe procedure and method will be used to gather appropriate and precise information in this study. For research design, the research design is orderliness and rational method in planning and directing a piece of study, according to Zygmunt Babin, Carr and Griffin 2010. The research design for this study is descriptive and correlation. According to Zundra Rajagopal, Atika, Rohani, Nazura and Akmal 2016, descriptive means describing the characteristic of the population of phenomena which determine the answer to whom, what, when and how question. While correlation is relationship indicate that at least two concepts of variable move simultaneously. This study is a cross-sectional study which the main objective is to investigate the factor that influence road accident. Population. Population is referred to the total of respondents who meet qualification that set of the level. The population for the study is respondent at Top Grove, Sendirian Berhad. The population of the study is of approximately 340. Sampling frame. Sampling frame is referred to a listing of elements in a population from which the sample is to be drawn. The sampling frame for the study will be obtained from Top Grove, Sendirian Berhad Human Resource Manager. Sampling size. Sample size is defined as the actual number of samples that choose from the population in the research. If the population is 340, the sample size for the study is 150. Sampling technique. The important in the sampling technique is the choice of appropriate sampling technique, which assure us that we are choosing a good sample for the study we want to make. The sampling technique for the research in convenience sampling. According to Itika Musa and Al-Qasim 2016, stated that convenience sampling is referred to the member of the target population that meet certain practical criteria, such as easy of access, have time availability, and willingness to participate in the study purpose. Convenience sampling is chosen as the researcher found that this is the easiest way for research to gather the data with the limited time available. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Faiz Farhan bin Abdullah. Data collection procedure. Data collection was a systematic way of gathering data and measuring information from various sources. Through data collection, it enables researchers to find out for the research problem, hypothesis testing, and evaluate the outcome. Questionnaire will be distributed personally to the respondent by the researcher. The content of the questionnaire will be explained clearly to the respondent during the distribution process. They will be given time to complete the questionnaire. The researcher will collect back the complete questionnaire for further analysis. Unit of analysis. Unit of analysis is referred to a level aggregation of the data collected during the subsequent data analysis stage. The unit of analysis used for this study is individual instrument. The questionnaire consists of 5 sections. Section A has 6 questions presenting the demographic question of the respondent. This section will obtain respondent information about gender, age, marital status, ethnicity, ethnic and highest education level and level of income. Section B until Section E have a series question constructed in a 5-point Likert scale that ranges from strongly disagree until strongly agree. This section include human factor, environment factor, internal factor, and road accident. Each section has 4 questions. The first variable measure is human factor, which consists of 4 items. The second variable measure is environment factor, which having 4 items. And then the third variable is internal factor, which consists 4 items also. Reliability and validity. Reliability is defined as the ability of measuring instrument to give accurate and consistent result. The convenient alpha was a test for consistency reliability. It can measure the ability of the answer of target respondent of each variable. The range of 0.91 to 1.0 is very strong, and 0.71 to 0.9 is strong, 0.41 to 0.6 is moderate, and lower than 0.6 is poor. Reliability is defined as the ability of measuring instrument to measure what is intended to be measured. For this study, the questionnaire will be validated by Dr. Rosila Abdul Aziz, the lecturer of MGT648 course.